Hello, oh shoot. Alright, so tonight we'll be doing a special review of that. We were going to have the, take the adjustment to what seems like a business leadership class that I have an attachment with my work. Get a few things cleaned and cleared out of personal developments. And then we're hoping to get ourselves a unison general partnership of a cleaning company, of our cleaning commercial cleaning services is a specific thing, which is being trained for with a lot of gestures that is, and that's really what I want too, because that's going to give us an additional level to what we're doing. And that there was like a few things that we needed to address before, like car, this not like an unassociative diagnostic of the reality of what somebody is to themselves, and that those indifferences are the qualities of what makes somebody capable, which is why I think that Darian's vindication in a failure family and skill in cleaning is pretty great. So I know that he will fix his attitude up, his appearance, if given enough time to nourish himself, and is motivated to challenge themselves and their body to do unbelievable things and machine that. We'll be working on that within the time and talking to the correct way. It'll be like that I'm just able to pass a business card and say that I'm allowed to do commercial cleaning. So that's really nice. It seems to be condoned by the state of Michigan for me, if not uniquely, that there is not much that has to be done to do that, which is variant from county to county, whatever that may mean. So that's cool. That's great that I get the gestures of exactly what I would not pragmatic myself to the exponential of who I want to be, to get that opportunity to make more, control more, and that all those things are adding up to a powerful human being who don't let like personal rambunctious associative relativity happen, and how that will help them financially while having all the same values. So that's really great if that happens, and that will be cool. What are a few things that have to get addressed? Well, I guess that we did like on a segment is it recommended that I talk about what I want that I was going to do anyway, and that they are incorrect. Well, we made sure we called the Holland attachment, and we're transferring. Well, we're not gonna let somebody pretend, but we definitely caught somebody pretending to be somebody else, and it's a non-family doctor business non-associative, non-relative formatted device. There are gateways to show that somebody is capable on the participant to stay within business, within balance, growth, and power, and follow the implementations of the Trinity. Those things, as far as the like the person, it's best to keep everything that we say cupboarded to what we're saying, because we don't want to go off in a tangent of the most self of us, and then we have to regress our past and have an explanation of the dual diagnostics of why some of these people were allowed to continue, and it will be as blatant as that, and it will be as phone call as that. And I announced that with the 313-487-44, or no, not 44, 8856, 313-487-8856 meeting room number. With this, I'll hopefully get that, and that we will begin to be able to challenge the words that we say in English. Yeah, that's really all I need. To have the ability to say that with the business license. A few things need to happen. My contact with Zealand East has to go well. The clearing of the teachers, if they want to, relatives, and the first generation Asian family has to be dealt with. That whole whatever. Well, your dad has to announce what he did wrong. The high school diploma has to have a claim on the exact location where it was last, because it's your reputation. We need a double check to see if you're expungent, if of any crimes, which would be done on the check for approval. And I don't know. I don't think. We'll check that, I guess, through Michigan of University. We need to know the if or what is the carry of the motion of you. We need an anti-neurologist. We need to get rid of all B-class medical professions, so home aid, CNA, all the ones that disagreed with giving us the tea to do something and had the audacity to me as the administrator to refuse me of something that is in the declination of my per day. I had explained at work, so if I'm in the bathroom, the stringent code of what, if somebody were to come across an epiphany of communication, not that it's an epiphany, but the stringent past, what somebody had done to do in the door, my briefing and gesture is that if what I was doing to what I did was writing non-essentially to somebody, wouldn't at that time, if time is relevant, if it's at a press or at the enter or follow, to have once done that you had written that when they were out. What part about that I would like to know the name of anybody who was or what vibration am I hearing? Is it a WWMT on Pontypool? And who are going to make these distinguishing factors so that the heated version of what somebody had attempted to do in a rotation 100 of self-acceptance doesn't breach their pediatric control? It's that RSV needs to transfer it to somebody who is, you know, strong. Uh, that's what I need to happen. There's no adversion of what the self of what I am. That's just what I say. So I see a productive version there, and I don't want something to turn into a white silver spoon business. I don't want to like have to hear not that I've if that was how it's seen, it's just that I'm in this class. This is not fictional. Okay. That would be great. I'll stop at the, the county just to check. It's the county and yes, that's where I was with that. I was yeah, that's pretty. After I do those things, I'm really gonna have to take some time to see if the theoretical neural link of that to the proprietary of a pseudoscientist are under investigation. So we're looking for the brains doctors, anybody at the 2828 urgent care, or the 2899 Lakeshore, or anybody in relation to the transfer from what seems to be a union of a business, because I didn't see anybody from the other business, and it's not like I did not work there. I would at least know one person. And not that I would not want to say that in any other way that I'd said. My theory is what you had crushed on to what somebody had done had infringed on your morals paraplegically, that it's causing you an indifference of what you think. So things like, I don't care to see this, and that I actualized saying something to and against you because I saw the irony in some kind of form of what was deliberate, whether whatever. Maybe like a like in a theoretical, a more like what is it when like there's like a magnetic push on you? Like, what if I don't feel that I need that? It's like a theory is that it's naval, and if you're we don't know if what is disputed as what is to say something, or how that is free of speech. Who knows? I think it could have been that your vasectomy appointment could have been in unison to limited liability corporation of optionals. that you had vocally heard that there was an ulterior option. It could be that the radiology of an older time naval version was the radio, or that the inconsiderate of the white silver spoon had attempted to use a laser on your body. This, it was like, it's already like, I don't manifest myself in that previous person because I've already taken the damage to want to go back to those kind of memories where those pain, the physical pain is too endearing. Well, the only people that are allowed to talk to an administrator are homeowners and business owners, and like people who don't find the application to do this. I think I think your mother passes for now, and then that's pretty much it. The the fancy to having the idealistic that Dua Lipa is befriending us on that side, and that there's a humanity suggestion that somebody thinks that they're within Failure Family's gates before applying a phone number or whatever. That is beyond acceptable attitude. If I heard about it, I wouldn't give you the benefit of the doubt. Not all the people watching IFWAS really see everything to what you're saying like that. So it's patience, getting the car fixed, making things comfortable. I, I don't I don't want to give the pathos of what don't seem to function. And it's just a few things. I'm totally with Wheelfish on that there needs to be better pay, but that is kind of a no lessons better pay. I really don't know. There's a lot of new stuff. What else? If I did not address it, making sure um, that we're a beneficiary of. It's just everybody is trying to avoid English conversation. I don't know who I've been talking to, or if my commentator does not, or the junction of the commands don't allow that. But man, it is a bit epic. In response, everything to that has been going. Like, what you think? Would it be normal? I mean, my perceptions to being able to find things out as whatever I wish to do are not flawed. So if I had seen that my diagnostics were that if and or this that this had happened, then I would think that that had happened. That is what I go by. We're gonna make sure that everything goes through, and that where somebody lives through, that those things end after. That somebody understands that they're within their profession, and their profession to do a work is that of that. I want to see that there can be a recreation of Stranger Things within my local community, and I want the local community to acknowledge the perhaps of Darian as a real occurrence. And I've applied to be a department, so that way I could defend myself against something or have people call on the behalf of a system, or even like a go-to number or an emergency number in case of a directory or whatever, or something more human. I totally see that. And then I I I see how I think that I say it, which I think is more accurate. And it's just like a bit of a wind down on some of the itinerary of what this is, where I am, and then my obligations as an American or as myself, and the fractal amount of money missing from us and us doing that, and that those things don't oppose what I do. Because if I went to work and I felt I made $1,000 more, and that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking my boss probably splits like 500 to something like that, to whatever that is, to somebody saying about the same thing, to, or maybe she has to split 500 with somebody to per person or something like that. I don't know. That's private, but talk to your regulator at the business or Lara to get that through, and it seems that the state of Michigan will help that through, and that's good. I need noise. I need to know that people are human beings and going to be able to address themselves as making sense. That anything scripted to what they said, that homemade or that person on review we'll see it that way. If a service is non-essential, I don't expect it an arrogant, out of the park, non-qualifying, whatever, to apprehend the simple moving average of the diagram of one person and the other. I want our diagram complete, and I want the authority of the circle around that, so that they know that they cannot write about a person if they are doing something, because that is like attempting to extort somebody on the attempt of what you were attempting to do. The conspiracy of doing a switch, a person at a switch is illegal. You cannot operate a switch on the behalf of what you did not know. And I think what was called 57, or some kind of stringent data analyst, Neuralink scientist, it was faceting something, or it really is so unmonitored that I could really make up anything that I wanted, but I mean, these are specific ones that I'm dealing with. If that, I feel like I could clear the psychology, and once I figure out what's going on with the eye, then I think everything will be a lot better. I cannot know what happened at the previous location to know the extenuary of what my claim was on the HP devices or whatever. And those things to battery on more behalf of somebody, that's not where we're going with this. I think it is a nurse, actually, that, yeah, well, it's just an unfortunate event of what seemed to be this running place of whatever, where somebody had seen something or whatever. We don't know. It does raise an alarm on Security 28, and then everybody is really at alarm at stuff like this. So these kind of things, and accepting that they happen, like replacements of objects that you find the words that you said were your obligation to something on normalcy, had created a bit of a roar. Those kind of terms, and there are so much other things going to attempt to get that one. We'll go ask your clerk, see what clears, to see if you can do that. And yeah, I really like how we turned business types into alliterations of different things. Like Darian's deal is related to home life and cute. Value family is related to just the main banister, the banner of you. And then whatever that would be called, cleaning company would be that. I feel it is a healthy proxy because it's easy for me to see that by category of working at Grand Rapids Building Service as a general manager, and the scent of knowing that at last moment said person said, oh, I'm not a general manager. So I really disconnected with somebody that I figured that there was some sort of connection with, but it was too disgenuine of nonsense and being unconnected to something. And don't scare yourself into believing that I do something at an interest to what you say to compel yourself to think something. This, you, West Ottawa teacher, so can I say that you responded, West Ottawa teacher, by our number 54, Lynn, by saying that you were compelled to a gift? Yeah, if it were my way, I, well, we're gonna have to see some successes before anything else happens, a determinant of something that has happened. No, you cannot be a Methodist to attempt to have something happen to you to make that a claim. If if I was defending myself, which I would. We need things like how Cass needs to be removed from your body. As in, it was attempted to... It felt like it was attempted to be removed from your body. Okay. It felt like you got lasered at the fifth third. Okay. Now, find that... unrelated to Fifth Third to believe that I worked there for so many years to have that happen to me. It was Inez Kelly until we know any more information. All these things that are happening to me are not my responsibility for somebody to perceive their own mistakes as something that they're connected to. We want it so, like, once the gates are lifted, that they know that it is what they are saying. I figured it would have been a great relationship to bring that Darian was talking to one of the Amityville Chaos Phantasm main three, because that way he could learn how to do that. And then on a departure of him being himself, then his deal would be that if somebody were doing that, then by being under his wing, you would have the full claim of what yours was. Like, the whole bid, like, I wouldn't be taking your 33%. I would just say, I need one person that I know, so you could have pretty much everything, and then mentor me in that. Well, somebody who don't know how to speak to continue to do something. Like, I want to know who is offended in my business meeting in 56. It'll be fair. It's not going to be that somebody did whatever, unless this whole social studies has deceived me, which I don't know. With probably like a fee of $8.33 a week for the person. So that's $3,333. That's the business deal. Alright, I hope to hear things about it, and I wanted to get associated to the one that I figured was going to be the one who would be interested in taking out some of these files and extracting them. We're going to get rid of all that stuff. I'm going to figure out what happened with that family and do the best to make sure that these things are not brought to the board or sale to what is being thought, and then has some physical appearance improvements. It's like I have an aquatic body, so it's not like I can make it look alright, but I guess well, that's too bad. So after I get those things for whatever for, I wonder why. I would probably ask. Okay. maybe in that depiction of somebody seeing that, that's already waiting in there, and then if they just said that they were in that issue, then they'd probably be out. So it's like an issue of that coding in language, it's real. Okay, so somebody can record you and then the I have to be sort of a beneficiary, not a logo sticker for something to be like that. Let's say I get rid of all those things, then it just has to be addressed one by one. I'm not going to let these people get away with whatever they thought they got going on. That you express yourself as saying what you think is hilarious. Okay. Well, have you seen them stop into the office as much? No. Well, it will be under review. I can tell that somebody gets to live their acceptance of themselves that is an upheaval for you communicating, that is not concerned about how unrelevant it is for me to be at my own actualization, to just doing that there. If you were told that something was inappropriate and you had chosen to decide to think that, then you had lived by that moment. With that, I do not follow you with that. That your attitude is that you would rather say something like, well, I will try to address that other part of whomever was in that call, and we'll try to work from there. I don't think that you would not get the license, the business license. I think you just gotta go in there. I don't know. I don't know why it's acceptable to have your car proxy Star Wars before it's important for me to be a human being, or why my eyes are pulsing anatomical hearts when I'm not in the profession that is that. And that I really need to find the person associated with that heart and extract it, because they're manipulating storyline to falsify content. We'll figure out what we feel and what we don't, but it's like, if there was an attachment to each of the phrases said, then to have left that unaddressed, that I cannot see you as somebody who can be allowed to think. So we're going to give Lindsay Schreiker a call at Grand Rapids Building Service, because I can sense, and you're visceraling me, that you're doing something wrong. Okay. And we're going to make sure maybe you see it as a different interpretation of how you found it inappropriate. Like I told you, to leave your air pipe hose or whatever on top of the lawnmower, and to switch that one where something that is mine is there and things that you gift are left there on my property. So maybe the frustration of the previous office was in tangent with changing the name from Grand Rapids Building Service to Grand Rapids Cleaning Company, which is what I wanted. So so that's good, and I don't think anybody. I don't want to see myself because I'm not at power as this depiction of what's this ulterior uh, facetism or like egocentrism or something like that. There's just not enough nodes to get on that. There's really something as an issue. That Miguel was proclaiming that he knew something that he said already happened and that those results were there, then that shows that his acceptance to that. So I need that family removed. Okay. You didn't have an explanation for not having anything, and that I mean they need to have a search warrant for their house to look for the object, and that goes for Kayla Smith as well for believing that those two may have given the diploma to one of those three teachers. So that'll be West Ottawa. Will be under investigation as well. If I can get that addressed to me saying it like that. I had come across a shy and what would have been a confident person looking at my Instagram photo of calling myself a fraud of the military. So we'll be looking. So we've already detected Mr. Norton, and usually I would never address myself as somebody better than somebody else. But in this case, there was nothing for you to put yourself into a certain way to say something that it those are the suspects. Your mom, your stepfather, your father, your brother, your those two from those ones, or just your uncle stealing it to keep this idea of himself going on, or those three teachers conspired to do that. All these things are all blended to all mean what is not okay. That's not in another way what I wanted, so hopefully that is seen through. If there was a pediatric, I feel that backtesting on the starting of first off, I'm completely blown away that these are next to no successes on a real person being English and Dutch. Nothing ever communicated. You, these people are living on Whimsicott, so no, I'm gonna need a better answer than that. Okay. That don't make any sense. will be patient. I'm not gonna, if there was some kind of breeding, fusion, something, which is evident that, like, there's that Michigan of University has a different dare as a present dare item. The most success I've seen is the station of the sandbox game. So that's where I see that. So being whatever, and then hearing something at rest be the thinking being the bipartisan of rape or whatever, and solicitation, extorting people for a political or government agency of using cryptocurrency for money laundering is kind of how I see the communication of not returning that. So I mean, hopefully as something protecting himself or the standards of whatever. There's so much decluttering that has to happen to make me feel like that is admissionable, even just as a business card. And I need that person who thinks that they create a benchmark of us and then use the conversation to belittle the wavelength of what they see, belittle that of what they're not, and just the overall not a woman yet kind of thing. Wow, the housewives of Philly family, never before seen. Quite an issue. If you had found stealing that diploma had made you feel something about yourself, then you really, you got something wrong with you. I I would love to address this in some way. Uh, they're not gonna be able to escape. I mean, they're within the company. The family that is bugging me is within the company that overseers where I work. Okay. Hopefully, we learn to speak English. And I'm gonna have it so you do not look at the green light that you respond to in Morse or that wavelength. Okay. Because the data analyst or the just that we even talked a little bit, it's like not really anything that is important. Hey, I don't need some other social studies convey of what this is. We need that person removed from the area if they were last seen as a B class EMT medical technician in Pine Rest, going under the name of Cassie Howard in Cutlerville, Michigan. It's most likely to, I don't know,